Good afternoon, Anne Arundel County. Good afternoon, America. Welcome to Promoting Community Conversation and Discovery. I'm your host, Anthony Bynum. The name of our production company is the Glen Burnie Players. These are exciting times here in Anne Arundel County. These are exciting times. The fall has just started, but the weather is just gorgeous. Now, it was supposed to rain today, but I don't know. It's not here now, right? So, again, these are exciting times. Let's start our show off with a bit of a bang. Let's with some announcements, okay? So the 28th, the end of this month, we have the Lithicum Fair. It's going to be exciting, right? It's going to be very exciting. On the 14th is the John Wesley United Methodist Church car show. It was supposed to be today, but it was canceled. They thought it was going to rain, but it's actually beautiful out there. Right around the corner, we're doing our final edits for the Goffstown History Bynum Legacy. That's going to be we're very excited about that one. I'm going to get that one out to you as soon as possible. References for this week's show. We want to find people at Wikipedia, find people at Google Images, the Poem Hunter. Do a great job. And also there's another news source, www.County Fair. So that's a bit of a clue as one of the things we're going to be talking about today. We want to do a shout out for our affiliates. So Anne Arundel County Community Television, thank you for airing our show. Greenbelt Cable Access, thank you for airing our show. Amherst Media, thank you for airing our show. Manhattan Neighborhood Network, thank you for airing our show. Our underwriter/sponsor is the Cleaning Chef. We also want to know that all our media is available on another source. It's called the GlenBurniePlayers.com. That's our website. Or on YouTube at the Glen Burnie Players 8542 or at Anthony Bynum 1948. You can send an email to us at aabynum@yahoo.com. If you have any concerns or interests, or you want to be part of what we're doing, we would love to hear from you. Okay, so the first part of our show, most admired. This is someone who lived in essentially another time, but his life was very relevant. Very, very well. Everyone's life is relevant. Doesn't matter how well known you're not. Every life is relevant. So let's start off with the share. First, we want to talk to about this week is Paul Robeson. Now, Paul was born 4/9/1898. He died 1/23/1976. He was American bass baritone, concert artist, he was an actor, professional football player. He's also an activist, and we're going to talk a little bit about that too. Now, Paul actually was very, very smart kid. He was also a very good athlete. He got an athletic scholarship to Rutgers. I think he was the first one. In fact, I think Rutgers University in New Jersey, in Newark, New Jersey. He was a big guy. Like I said, he was 6'3", 219 pounds. So he was a presence. He was a real presence. After college, he actually played professional football. I don't know if it was the NFL, might have gone by a different name, but he played for the Akron Pros and the Milwaukee Badgers. He played from 1921 to 1922. He had like 15 touchdowns. So he was a tough cat to deal with. I already mentioned the athletic scholarship to Rutgers before graduating. After graduating, and probably after the football career, he became a figure in the Harlem Renaissance. He was in such plays as Emperor Jones and All God's Children Got Wings. He was a prolific recording artist, as I mentioned earlier. I think there were over 276 recordings, but the one he's best known for is Old Man River. He was politically active, and this is what got him on the list, got him on the radar for the FBI. First off was the Spanish Civil War. Americans, it's kind of an unwritten rule. Americans didn't speak about foreign engagements, and he did, and he ruffled some feathers. In World War II, he supported Soviet policies. Well, everyone knew the Soviets were communists, but it was true in those days that many Black Americans just did not feel they could get a fair shake here in the country for different reasons. So I like to think, no, I would have never done it. And most folks, quite frankly, didn't. But there was a group of people who thought that they had a fairer system for people of color. Whether that bore out or not, I couldn't tell you. I've yet to hear of a heavy Black population in what is now the Soviet Union. So, but again, that's where he was at that time. That was his thought process. During the McCarthy years, he refused to sign an affidavit saying that he was not a member of the Communist Party. He was blacklisted, probably cost him a lot of work. Somehow he survived all that. He lived in a defiant, strong manner. He was a man of conviction. I may not agree with his positions, but he was a man of conviction. And kind of like one of my other heroes, Frederick Douglass, he was a big guy. So he was prepared to defend himself if he needed to. So for those reasons, this week, our most admired is that man right there, Paul Robeson. Right. We're going to go into the next. So we're going to go forward here. We want to bring up something of consequence regarding Anne Arundel County. As I noted, this week is going to be the Anne Arundel County Fair. Let me give you a little history about the Anne Arundel County Fair. Now, here we go. The fair started in 1952 by a Mrs. Lee of Annapolis. I don't have her first name. She was inspired in her childhood as she grew up in Frederick County. She grew up on a farm, and they had a county fair. So she said, well, let's bring this here to Anne Arundel County. Now, another related part of this story, it's a giant lumberjack. You can see him right there, and I'm going to click on him. Yeah, okay. The giant lumberjack there. The actual name is Uncle Harv. I'm going to tell you how that name came to be. But we all know him as Paul Bunyan. My second favorite legend of all, my favorite legend I covered, which is the legend of John Henry. But Paul Bunyan, yeah, he was a big guy too. Big guy too. So the actual date of the giant, he's made out of steel and fiberglass. We don't know when he was actually made. We don't know who made him. But in 1977, the Lombard Chainsaw Company sold it to Frank Baldwin, who was the owner of the Baldwin Farm and Garden Supply Company, located at the intersection of Route 50 and General Highway. Originally, he brought it to the Anne Arundel County Fair. At that point, initially, I guess it was at Sandy Point Park. But en route, it fell off the truck and broke his arm. Okay. So the next year, I guess after it was repaired, he brought it to his service center, and it remained there for 15 years. So it was an identifier, people go to get farm supplies and the like, farm supplies and the like, and they knew where Baldwin's was because they could just look at the giant statue. He renamed it himself. He owned it. So he renamed it Uncle Harv in recognition of the International Harvesters. Now, I'm not sure if he's talking about the union. It sounds like he is, but he might also be talking about the company, International Harvesters. Okay. After 45 years in business, the Baldwin's closed shop, and they put the statue up for sale. So someone could use this, right? People wanted to buy it, more likely, but there were zoning laws. And you couldn't have anything that big on a main highway anymore in Anne Arundel County. So what was he to do? He brings it to the county fairgrounds, and it's been there ever since. That's a great story. Somebody cared about his community and wanted this icon of the community to stay. So Uncle Harv, actually, we all know who this is about. It's about Paul Bunyan. And that's going to bring us to the final part of today's show. So I'm going to stop the share. Well, actually, let me pull this up on my phone first. Okay, now I'm going to stop the share. And one more thing to do. So part of our theme obviously is Paul Bunyan, right? And I may circle back to the legend of Paul Bunyan for a show in itself because I could. I think I learned about Paul Bunyan right around the same time as I learned about John Henry. I was a young boy, second, third grade, something like that. It's where I guess I was introduced to storytelling. All right. So this is from Poem Hunters, written by Shel Silverstein. It's called Paul Bunyan. Okay, I take my glasses off to look at this. Please bear with me. He rode through the woods on a big blue ox. He had fists as hard as chopping blocks. 500 pounds, 9 feet tall. Yes, that was Paul. Talking about working when he swung his axe, you could hear it ring for a mile and a half. Then he'd yell, timber, and down she'd fall. Yes, that was Paul. Talk about drinking. That man was so mean that he'd never drink nothing but kerosene. And a 5-gallon can with a little bit small for, yes, you named him, Paul. Talking about tough, well, he once had a fight with thunder on a cold, dark night. I ain't saying who won, but it don't storm at all round here, thanks to Paul. He was 90 years old when he said with a sigh, I think I'm going to lay right down and die. 'Cause sunshine and sorrow, I've seen it all, says Paul. He says he ain't got no man alive. He says there ain't no man alive who can kill me. Ain't no woman around who can thrill me. I think heaven might just be the ball. Yes, Paul. So he died, and yes, we cried. It took 18 men just to bust the ground. It took 20 more to lower him down. And we covered him up. And we figured that was all for Paul. But late one night, the tree started shaking, the dogs started howling, the earth started quaking. And out of the ground, with a hi, y'all, here comes Paul. He shook the dirt from off his clothes. He scratched his back end and wiped his nose. You all been dead. Wasn't no fun at all, says Paul. He says, up in heaven, they got harps on knees. They got clouds and wings, but they got no trees. I don't think that's much of a heaven at all. No, that's what says Paul. So he jumps up on his ox with a fare thee well. He says, I'll find out if there's trees in hell. And he rode away, and that was all we'd ever seen of Paul. That was enjoyable. I like that. I like this cadence through that. That was very good. That was very good. So everybody, the big takeaway is that these are exciting times here in Anne Arundel County. Exciting times. Beautiful weather. Beautiful everything. Everything's beautiful. So for everyone here at the Glen Burnie Players, again, my name is Anthony Bynum. Until next time, bye-bye.